What's up with the food family of the sports world? This is the WTP Sports Dudes Show. We got myself, the Zen Master. Uh, Thank y'all for tuning in. I got my main man right here with me, the big homie, Rob. Okay, Rob done tooted off. Hey, what's up with you though? We got Level Up Sports 10 with us.
How's it going with you this
Mossberg,
morning?
Joseph Mossberg with us, the smooth criminal. How you doing, my family?
Pretty good, man. Just a little tired from last night's game. Stayed up and watched that Boise game. Thought Genty was going to actually get in on that record, but he got a little closer. And just watching that team last night, I just think they're going to be a dangerous team. If they get this 3 seed in this playoff, and me, WTP Sports Dudes was speaking on it, I think they definitely could be a dangerous team in this playoff.
I respect it. I respect it. And then we got definitely the main man, uh, Mr. Robert Brown, WTP Sports Dude. Well, how you doing, big homie? How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing really, really good. I had to come into work this morning to work this Christmas party that we're doing for some of our students over at the Great Windsor STEM Academy. And I had to get up earlier than I wanted to, man, because, I stayed up and watched that Boise State game.
Yeah.
Really, really good game by Ashton Genty, man. I loved it. But I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing great.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey, and a special shout out to our other guys that could be here right now at the moment. They might chime in. You never know. They pop up when they want to. Parlay Poe. I'm mad at him right now. He a Michigan guy, so it's less words for me with him. And then our other guy, any mask, any hat, somebody else, Mr. T1. So shout out to them guys, man. We love y'all. Hey, chime in if y'all see this. If y'all able to, whenever y'all can. Hey, let's go ahead and get into the action from last night real quick though. Let's go ahead and talk about that Boise State UNLV game. Boise State won 21-7. As I was watching early, I don't know. I thought UNLV might have had something for them, but they just couldn't. They just couldn't keep it going. Their momentum going, and they were shooting themselves in the foot. So, what do y'all guys think about that game that happened last night?
Man, watching Boise State early, when you play each other twice in a season, someone's going to make a knockout blow early. And I think Boise State, just the way their defense played in this game was the difference maker. And of course, we know what Ashton Genty do when he gets that ball. That breakaway run that he got right before the half, I think set the mode for the rest of the game when it comes to Boise State just managing to get the win, getting out of that home game against UNLV, and looking forward to the playoff. And, me and WTP Sports Dude spoke about this Boise State team, and I think they're going to be a dangerous team in this playoff. If they get a 3 seed, we feel very good about how dangerous this team can be. What was your thoughts, WTP Sports Dude?
Man, Boise State definitely made the adjustments that they needed to make from the first game, at least in the first half. That whatever UNLV did in that first game during the regular season, Boise State went to the drawing board and said, listen, we're going to shut this thing down. And they did that in the first half. Well, in the second half, too, because the one touchdown that UNLV got, the game was out of reach. There was no way they were going to come back. And I thought that Brennan Marion, the offensive coordinator for UNLV, would have came up with some different stuff to throw at Boise State. But Boise State's ability to blitz teams like UNLV was the difference, I think, in that first half. It kept them off balance. Hodge Malik couldn't do what he wanted to do. In the second half, he was able to use his legs a little bit more. But they were all over all of that stuff. And I think that Boise State just made the better adjustments going into this game.
Yeah, man. Man, Boise State definitely looked like a playoff team yesterday. and UNLV didn't. So I'm just talking about like all around though. Like you can't constantly shoot yourself in the foot. I felt like UNLV was just shooting themselves, man, in the foot though. Like you just can't do that. Not in championship season, bro. You're not gonna win games like that. You can't turn the ball over. You got to complete drives.
Yeah.
Um, the kicker missed the kick. It could have changed it to that kick that he missed early on. It could have changed the trajectory of the game. You never know. Like you just gotta get them points. You have to. So it was a whole bunch of things going on in that game. It's just like y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. So
Yeah, yeah,
I agree with both of y'all though.
yeah. I want to say something else about that game, man, and Boise State in particular. For everybody out there that think that Boise State is not going to be able to compete with these Power Four schools, I want you to remember that thing called the transfer portal and the fact that Boise State has been relevant for years, bro. They're not a bad team. And
Yeah.
that UNLV team that they beat got a lot of Power Four players who just happened to transfer from the Power Four schools they were at
Mhm.
because they ran out of they couldn't stay at that school any longer because they needed a new place to play or something. Like Jaden Catalon, he played at Arkansas on a high level. At one time was considered an All-American. Then he went to Texas, just stayed injured. So he had to find him another spot because those teams have players that are behind those guys when they're playing, and now they got to move on because the coaches are going to that next man up because they can't afford this guy stay hurt again. That kind of stuff. But I want people to know that listen, Boise State is a very good football team. Very
Yeah.
good football team.
Agreed. Agreed.
Hey, go ahead and roll my headline for me, WTP. Hey, before we move on, I want to give a special mention to the Conference USA. A few weeks back, I wanted to keep that in mind of people's heads. We had a rematch from week 12, the final week of football, and Jacksonville State just automatically jumped out on Western Kentucky last night. They beat them boys 52 to 12 or something. So it was something like that. It was crazy, man. Hey, but what was crazy is I had to watch the game. And I only watched it up until halftime because Western Kentucky won last week. And they still lost by 40. I was confused.
Yeah.
Like, dang, y'all ain't have more pride than that? Hey, I definitely had to shout that out though. Um, Now this is a 12 o'clock game, right? I believe. Is this a 12 o'clock game?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
The
12 o'clock.
first one is that noon,
Okay,
big
so we
noon
got
kickoff.
number 16 Iowa State with my boy Rocco versus number 15 Arizona State with my boy Sam Levitt. I love both of these quarterbacks, man. How you guys feel about this game?
W.
Man, Arizona State is on a roll, bro. They on a roll. My man Scatterboo, I love my man Scatterboo. Hard runner. Listen, if y'all need to give me the ball 40 times, this is Scatterboo talking. If you need to give me 40, give it to me 40 times to get this win, I'm all for it because I'm trying to win this game, make it into the CFP so I can be out there rocking. But I love Iowa State too, man. I love Matt Campbell. I always liked him when Texas was in the Big 12. This is a hard one to pick. I'm gonna go with Iowa State in this game, man, to win this game because I think they got a better defense than Arizona State. I'm gonna go with Iowa State for the victory in this one, man. Iowa State picking you, don't disappoint me.
Man, this was probably one of the toughest ones this week. I think we looking at a classical matchup between Arizona State and Iowa State. I like Scottaboo. I like Scottaboo and the sensational sophomore receiver. If you don't know about him, you better tune in. And that's Jordan Tyson I'm speaking on. 10 plus touchdowns, over 1,000 yards this season, 70 plus receiving receptions. So when you talk about an Arizona State team, you got Cam as a senior, you got Jordan as a sophomore, and that quarterback, not to mention, you can't ask for a better team. And like you said about Iowa State, man, physical, tough, grind it out, and their that defense, we know what they bring to the table. But Scottaboo and them tutties, these last couple of weeks, he's ran for over 350 yards with about 4 or 5 touchdowns. So I'm taking Scottaboo, as I said, and the Arizona State Sun Devils, and they're gonna put some hecticness and as we call it, chaos to this college football playoff. So I'm taking Arizona State and a big win today.
I respect it. I respect it. Hey, my biggest question is in this game, can Rocco make enough plays to win the game? Because honestly, Arizona State is so hot, and Sam Levitt, he just do not turn the ball over. And they got two 1,000-yard receivers. I think that offense, and Rob, I know you like that three high safety look that Iowa State give. Um, and it's definitely gonna come down to X's and O's. But I just think it's something about Sam Levitt that I love. Like, he was an under recruited guy. He was a 3-star prospect. I mean, he got 22 tutties and 5 interceptions on the year. So he coming in to take care of that ball. But can Iowa State create enough turnovers too though? Like, I don't think they win the game if they don't take the ball away. So I'm gonna bet my money with Arizona State if I had to. Um, I love Rocco though. I love Rocco. Don't get me wrong. Rocco is Rocco. You know what I mean? So really, I'm just gonna be a fan of watching the sports. But I think Arizona State is just too hot right now, man. It ain't. It's just when you hit that hot moment at the right time of the year. I just think that means something. It matters. And I just think their team is so into this moment right now. They're not letting the moment pass them, and they just living in it. And I don't think they're going to lose this game.
Okay, okay. Man, listen, I tend to agree with you because they are riding the wave right now, and it's gonna be tough to slow them down for sure.
We're going to move along, sports family. We're going to go to the ACC championship game. We have number 17 Clemson versus number 8 SMU. How y'all feel about this game?
For me, my thoughts was Dabo. He's made it. Beat all the odds of all the talk. We talked about him and not hitting the portal, to name a few things. But I think this Clemson team is a scary team. You putting Dabo in the championship game. Dabo in championship games, I think in the last 10 years, he's only lost maybe one or two. And this is SMU's first go round. So Dabo's definitely trying to knock that off. And Clemson was a team that didn't want SMU in the ACC as well. So I think that puts a little more into this game. This may be the start of a rivalry in the ACC in a different way, with Clemson not wanting them in there in the ACC, but they're here and they're in the championship game. So that being a statement on SMU's behalf, I like Dabo. I'm going to take Dabo in the upset against SMU. And I know how I speak on SMU week in, week out, man. This is a tough game to play in. Dabo's been there before. Let's go, Dabo. No portal. And Clemson make some noise. And the chaos continues this college football weekend.
Man, I totally agree with my man Mossberg. Listen, I am not betting against Dabo Sweeney and that Clemson team. They got a good enough defense. They got enough talent on that team. And like he said, they got proven coaches on that staff. I can't see them losing that game. K. Klubnik is going to have a good game. I think that they got everything they need to win this game, offensively and defensively. I'm going with Clemson in the win. I'm just hoping that SMU can still make the 12-team playoff because they did everything they needed to do so far to get there. Now they're in the championship game. They should still be in. But we have to wait and see. But I'm taking Clemson because I think they just have too much talent on their team and better coaching.
Man, I hear y'all boys, man. I hear y'all boys. Hey, but as my man Mossberg say and Lee Corso, not so fast, dog. Not so fast. Hey, Dabo ain't Dabo from 5 years ago. I mean, I had these same conversations when I said Alabama ain't the same Alabama without Nick Saban. I think Dabo really honestly need a fresh start somewhere else. I don't think that program is what it's supposed to be right now. Part of the reason is he missed. He missed on the quarterback. You mentioned Rob, Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik ain't it. I mean, he just not it. He's not the guy that's gonna lead you to the promised land, you know. And that's all right though. That's all right. I mean, you're still a competitive team. You're still gonna win games, but it's championship season, and I don't feel that from Cabe Klubnik. Um, I expect SMU to keep this this probably one of their best seasons ever. I expect them to keep that alive. Hey, you got all the marbles. It's in the middle of the table for you. You either gonna put up or you gonna shut up. They gonna have to put up today because everything count on it. So you win, you control your own destiny. You lose, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what the committee gonna do. I think them boys is gonna come out and they gonna put it up. Yeah, they gonna have to put it up. So um, I like Brashard Smith and I like Jennings. You know what I mean? I like these. I like what they can do on the offensive end. Um, I know. Dabo got Fafa over there, and I know he got Cabe Klugman. I know he got 5 stars everywhere around the field. But it's something about this SMU team that I think that they gonna do what they gotta do today. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna roll with SMU in this game. I think Dabo is still a great coach. Um, I don't see Clemson pulling out this game, man. And really SMU, they ain't lost since week 3, week 4, somewhere around there. They not even used to losing. We can't say the same about Clemson. They used to losing for real. So I mean, I'm gonna go with SMU, man. And shout out to both teams though. They had amazing seasons, but I definitely think SMU is gonna pull this one off. Let's move on to the Big Ten championship. We got number 3 Penn State versus number 1 Oregon. Ooh, this is gonna be a banger. How y'all feel, fellas?
Man, after doing a little bit of research, watching a couple of shows, man, Penn State, I don't think they got a chance, bro. I don't think they got a chance because, and this is the reason why I think they got a good enough defense to slow Oregon down. But I think defensively, Oregon's defense is way too fast for Penn State's guys, man. Now, Tyler Warren might have a decent day, but everybody else is going to have some trouble. Even though they got a good running back and they got some solid receivers, Oregon, their speed, their ability to blitz, their ability to get their fast guys in positions to take advantage of slower guys is going to be the difference in this game. And I'm taking Oregon to win this game and hold that number 1 spot in the college football playoffs.
I agree with you. When you talk about this Oregon team, we know how Oregon always produced speed, but we're seeing an Oregon team not only with speed, they have skill, athleticism, they hitting you in the mouth. They more of a physical team. And when you put the physicality with the speed in an Oregon team, This is the longest I've seen Oregon sitting at the top spot since I've been watching football. And I don't know. This might be one of the most dangerous teams in college football. Just my personal opinion. That offense looks like Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. And we know what that does. That put points on the boards. But the defense, I think they step in. I think they spy on Warren in this game. When I say spy, I'm talking defensive end looking like he's blitzing, stepping back, making plays on the tight end, as well as those safeties coming up and matching up as they do, man on man, and making it tough for Penn State to pretty much do anything. The Oregon's offense, I think they're going to put up 50 in this game. And just remember, in Big Ten championships games, 50 seems to be a magic number in a blowout. So I'm taking Oregon, and they putting 50 on the board in this Big Ten championship today.
He said 50.
Man, I don't think Oregon about to win this game at all. I do not. I think Penn State is a souped up Wisconsin, and Oregon scraped and scrapped out of there, and they beat Wisconsin 16-13. And if Penn State had any mind of just like watching film and just what to do, they will watch that Wisconsin game and they'll take a play out of Michigan book and they will take a play out of Wisconsin's book of just keeping the ball away. Sometimes you just gotta run and run and run, and you can't go back on it though either. You just gotta run the ball. I don't care if it's not working or if it is. You just gotta run the ball and play good defense. If you can do that, you can win this game, and that's what I expect them to do. Honestly, I expect them to run the ball 40 times in this game, maybe throw 20 passes. So I'm gonna take Penn State, man. I think their coaches get scared only against Ohio State. I don't think they're going to get scared in this game. I think they're going to have a playbook. They're going to have all the sheets in their hands, and they're going to open up everything. Tyler Warren is going to have probably 7 to 10 carries in this game. Nicholas Singleton is going to have 20 carries. Katron Allen is going to have 12 to 15 carries. And I think they're going to get this done, man. Oregon, I never trusted Oregon in championship season. It's a little black cloud over them when it comes to me for that. They never, and I got this little saying too where I'd be like, I wouldn't draft an Oregon quarterback if I was an NFL guy. It's that same like kind of mentality that I feel about Oregon. Like you just don't trust these guys when it comes to championship season. And watch, when I tell y'all they're gonna get popped over these next 3 weeks, if it's not tonight, it's gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna get popped, bro. This is what they do. Sometimes when somebody reveal themselves, you gotta just believe them. So that's how I'm moving. I think Penn State got these boys. I think we're going to have to come back to the drawing board and put some respect on these guys' names. You know, we haven't been respecting Penn State at all. So I know they're hearing all the same chatter.
And just before we go on the next one, remember, Oregon has had time to prepare for this game, get healthy, get themselves just together as they need be. And that game with Wisconsin was at Wisconsin. In the cold, they playing in the dome in this Big Ten championship, and we know what that turf do with them speed. So I take Oregon, just beat that speed. I don't know. I looked at some of the same things as you're looking at with Oregon being where they at and normally how they have that tumble. But with this team, I just think we're seeing a totally different team. With them being in the Big Ten, they know they got to bring it, and they definitely doing that exactly.
Respect it.
Good morning.
Listen,
Good morning. How you doing, King Chris?
That's Chris Vance, little bro Chris Vance. He down there living
Oh,
in
yeah?
Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Man, good to see you, Chris. Man, I used to love Chris and his whole family when they went to Windsor, man. That was my peoples, man. I love them, man. I love them. Good
Definitely.
kids too, man. Good children, man, in school. I appreciate you joining us, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I tend to agree with you. If Penn State can do what you said they can do, Zip Master, then I think they could win the game. But if they can't do that, they have no shot.
Right.
They have no
They said they ain't got no shot. Hey, a lot of it is gonna come down to Drew Aller too. I mean, we can't just act like Dylan Gabriel been slinging the ball all the way around the field. He only got 22 touchdowns on the year. So yeah, they got the athletes. They got a good running game too. But I don't I don't see them just putting up points like crazy. But I tend I feel I get exactly what both of y'all was saying. Like I get exactly where y'all coming from. I mean, it's been the best team in the country all year long. So I mean I get it. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the SEC championship. Probably the game that all of our eyes is going to be on when it come down to it. We got number 5 Georgia and number 2 Texas. Go ahead and go last, Rob.
Man,
Go ahead, real quick though, Moss. I'm gonna go after you.
this is the game I've been waiting on, man. I've been waiting to see this game. It's a lot of reasons why. Last week I called on him, and that is the Arch. You know, he came out, showed his proudness, and I'm calling him again. You're gonna see him in this championship game against these Bulldogs. He's gonna change the game. Quinn's gonna come in and be Quinn as he is. And I just think this Texas team is a different team since that Georgia game. Defensively, offensively, they're running the ball probably as good as any team in the SEC, if not the best. And when it comes to the quarterback, Quinn and Arch have that understanding. They know that Sark is going to put him in to make an adjustment, and Quinn goes out. He sees those things and he acts on them. And Texas is just a totally different team at this point. And then when we speak on the defensive side, you have Hill, you have Barron, not to mention the defensive tackles up front. I mean, I have Texas, and when I speak on Texas, I have them in this game by the same amount they took the L in the first game. I'm taking Texas by 15 in the SEC championship. So for all y'all watching, y'all better watch this Texas team. They scary, and I'm taking them. Enough said on that.
Man, this is gonna be a banger, man. But what I'm looking at is I'm talking about Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, Alfred Collins, Jade Barron. Like these dudes gotta show up, dog. Y'all gotta show up. Um, and I know we're having conversations about are these games important or not. But at the end of the day, these games are still here, and you gotta leave your pride out there, bro. You cannot get beat on by these dudes again, bro. You just can't, and I don't expect that to happen at all. I mean, um, it, it's like a tale of two stories for me too, though. It's like the first game that Texas played Georgia, it seemed like nothing worked. So they can go back to the drawing board and attack that film of that first game and attack some of the film of the last 2 or 3 weeks of what happened with Georgia, definitely in that Georgia Tech game. What did Georgia Tech do against Georgia that had them so off balance? You know, I know they scored maybe 18 points in overtime, but how did they stay in the game, man? How did they almost come close to beating this Georgia team? I think you got to pull the film and you got to see exactly what's going on and how to attack this Georgia defense. And I think the answer is to have them defensive linemen going side by side. You cannot go straight at them. You have to get them. You have to wear them boys down so much, and you just got to use the whole field. And you got to go side by side. And I think that's a recipe for them. Um, quick facts too, though. Y'all know I hate Carson Beck. Football family. But in the last 3 games, he's averaging 330 yards. He got 12 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Now, if this guy can come into this game and get something resembled to them numbers, throw a couple touchdowns, don't turn the ball over, Georgia is definitely always going to be a scary team. My biggest problem with them is their quarterback cannot put it together for multiple games in a row. So I will never trust him in the playoff setting because I don't think he got 3 games in a row where he's not going to give it up to the best teams in the country. Um, but I need to see Kelvin Banks. I need to see Quinn Ewers. Y'all got to be dudes in this game. Y'all have to be dudes, or y'all gonna come up on the other side again. So I think they're gonna get it done, and I'm gonna take Texas to win this game because I think pride and ego is a it's just MF. You know, you're not about to lose to these dudes twice, bro. You can't. Like you can't go back to Texas doing that. So I think these guys get it done today.
My cousin Chad said he thinks Texas is going to win 21-17. He was jumping on the stream real quick. Listen, exactly what you said. They cannot let these dudes beat up on them again. Texas has all the bulletin board material they need to be up for this game, to be ready to smash Georgia. Georgia, without a short field, is going to have a tough time scoring against Texas. If you watch all the games this year for Texas, if they don't give you a short field, that defense will make it difficult for you to get points. Now, they might get a couple field goals, but to get in that end zone is going to be tough. They might not have their ETN at the running back position in this game, which was a key for them in the first game. I think Texas offensively, they've shown the country that listen, we can run the football in a variation of ways. In the second half of that game against Georgia, they was running inside zone and they were able to get some yardage running the football. I think that's where Georgia is the weakest at is their defensive tackles. They don't have the defensive tackles like they had in the past. And I think Texas and Steve Sarkisian will exploit that. I don't know if Kelvin Banks is going to play today because he's questionable, but Trevor Gooseby came in last week and played really well. I think he'll play really well again this week. He had a lot of playing time this season. I'm looking for Texas to dominate this game all 4 quarters. It might not be a blowout, but the dominance will be there. And I believe that the defense will keep Georgia out of the end zone in this game. And I believe Texas wins this thing uh, very, very convincingly, in my opinion. But I'm a Texas fan, so that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Facts. We rolling with you though, WTP. We rolling with you, dog. Hey, I'm pretty sure we got a little bit of bias in our bones because of you, man. A
Oh,
little bit.
definitely, definitely, definitely,
You
definitely.
better hook them with them horns, man. Them boys are serious too, man. And
Nah.
how you was speaking on their run game? What is it, Wisner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Quint,
the
what's his
improvement he's
Quinton?
showing, and we got to remember this Texas team are playing without 2 All-Americans at the running back position. They've been going for the whole season, and for them to be where they at, I think these boys gonna come out. That's Georgia's weakness. They gonna run that ball with a whole different level of toughness today. SEC championship, playoff possibilities of being a number 1 team going into the playoff. We just don't know what the chaos could be, in some of these games. So, yeah, y'all better get a hold of that Texas team and put them in your pick'ems.
Man, Texas got so much NFL talent on their roster. And I know I've been said things in the past few weeks like, who did they beat? This is their time to make a statement, bro, and get hot.
Yeah,
This is their time, dog. And they got to seize this moment because if they go out there and pop Georgia, it's a mental game sometimes. Once somebody line up against you in the playoff, they gonna be nervous, dog. They just gonna be nervous, and you need that little edge, and
right.
because you might just jump out on somebody and they ain't got nothing else to do after you jump out on them. So they just need that edge, and I mean I know they beat Texas A&M last week, but like I'm talking about like who do we really respect that they beat for real? You know, like We don't respect nobody that they beat. So this their time to get their respect right now, for real. And I see them doing it, dog. I see them doing it convincingly.
Well, I'm gonna rub a little something on you real quick, but don't be mad at your big brother, man. Don't be mad at your big brother. They should respect Texas for beating Michigan. If you're an Ohio State fan, though. No, just I'm
Oh
just
my God, nah, dog, nah, dog, nah. Hey, you rubbing salt in the wounds over here. You talk about don't be mad at me,
Man,
man. What, man? You trying to turn me up this early morning, man? Come on, man. We ain't doing that, dog.
I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking.
they beat them by 14.
Hey, man, chill out, dog. We ain't talking about that, bro. This is championship weekend, bro. We not in it. Leave my team alone, dog.
Oh man.
Damn, man. Y'all crazy, man. Won't leave me alone. I wish T1 was here. T1 would have went off on you.
Oh man.
For sure.
Hey, let me give a special mention. Let's give our 12-team playoff predictions. Hey, real quick before we hop into that, Mossberg. Let me give my special mention to Army on a great season, man. They capped off that AAC championship last night against Tulane. I did not think they was gonna win that game going into it. And they handled them boys 35-14. They had 338 yards rushing, the number one rushing team in the country. And yeah, they handled them boys all the way. So shout out to Army for a great season. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. You guys ain't got nothing to say about the AAC, right? Let's go ahead and move on. Let's give our 12-team playoff predictions.
Man, it was tough. We giving ours, or we looking at what the board's saying?
I prefer to hear what yours is first, and then what you think the board is going to do.
Well, mine is pretty much just as the board have them, with thoughts of 11 and 12, which is Miami and Alabama. I don't know if Alabama should be in. It's just so much when it comes to Alabama and Miami. But I got Oregon at number 1, Texas at number 2. I got Penn State at number 3, Notre Dame at 4, of course, Georgia 5, Ohio State 6. I wanted to put Ohio State actually at 5, ahead of Georgia, and my own personal playoff ranking, just because. But I still have them at that position. Tennessee 7, SMU 8, Boise State I put at 9 instead of 10. And I got Indiana at number 10. And then I went ahead and put Miami at 11. I had Alabama at 12. Because I had it matchup-wise, Alabama, Ohio State matchup, those type of things for my own playoff.
Now, Moss, do you think that the committee will do anything other than what you just said? Like going in today, barring some crazy chaos, just from what we know right now, do you think the committee could do something else?
Well, with the chaos that could possibly happen today, I put together quite a few different possibilities with chaos today. And if any chaos go on, I don't think Alabama's in this playoff. I think if chaos happen, I think the door opens up for quite a few teams in different ways. And you speak on South Carolina being a hot team. That's one team that I look at. As hot as they're playing, I get what you say about everything and how we looked at the whole, overview. It would be, would the playoff committee want to see Alabama? Would they want to see South Carolina? Those are some of the things that I thought about our whole conversation. And I looked up when Ohio State jumped TCU and Baylor back in 2014. They jumped two 11-1 teams, and Ohio State had two losses. They jumped those two teams and went into the playoff. I think there's a possibility we see a lot of these things that we've seen when it comes to rankings over the years happen after this weekend. Because that's just my prediction on my 12. But after this weekend, it's just going to be chaos all over again.
What's up, WTP Sports Dude?
Man, this is I'm gonna post it in a minute. Who I think what I think the ranking is going to be, and this is going to be their position in the 12-team playoff. Um, but I'm going to post it here in a second. Um, man, it's going to be tough though. Uh, I'm going number one, Oregon. Number two, Texas. And this is how I think they're going to be on the actual bracket. This is where I think they're going to be. I think Boise State is going to be 3. I think Iowa State is going to be 4. I think Notre Dame is going to be 5. Ohio State is going to be 6. I think Penn State is going to fall to 7. Georgia is going to fall to 8. I think Indiana is going to be 9. Tennessee will be 10. Um, and then we have SMU at 11. No, that's wrong. Yeah, SMU at 11, and then Clemson will be 12.
So you got Clemson winning that game.
I got Clemson winning that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yo,
said
that's
that. You
huge,
did say
man.
that.
I think that's just, I mean, it's the way SMU been playing, man. I think it's going to be hard to keep them out the playoff the way you've had teams lose at other conferences against opponents and only drop them a couple spots. So I totally agree with you. And that'll put 2 ACC
Yeah.
teams in the playoff as well.
Well, they probably will flip flop them. I got Clemson 12 and SMU 11. It should be flipped around.
Right.
Clemson 11 and SMU 12. It should just be flipped around. But I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping that's what it is.
So I'm gonna give a little two sides of my of the story of how I see it. I think Oregon is the best team in the country. Um, just been unblemished. I'm gonna have to give them that. I think Texas is second. I think Ohio State still comes in as the third team, even though we have a problem with our familiar foe. We have a problem with them, and we know it, but we don't have a problem with the rest of the country. We're still the third best team. Um, I think Notre Dame comes in as the fourth best team for me, and then I think Tennessee is the next. They will round out the top 5. So um, you still got the Indiana, the Penn States, the Georgias. I think them was the 5 best true best teams in the country. Um, that Tennessee defense is outrageous. Really, if they had an experienced quarterback, I would probably hand them the national championship. That's how good about their team I feel. With Kelvin Sampson in that backfield, they got guys on that offense. It's just you got that Tennessee offense is a vertical offense. You got to connect on them deep shots. Um, as far as the seedings, I like what you said, Rob. Um, I just don't think SMU is going to lose that game, so that couldn't be my personal seeding. I like what you did though. If Clemson was able, that the game still got to be played on the field. If Clemson was able to pull that off, I can see 11 and 12 being ACC. I can definitely see that, and that's one of the ways I said Bama could get pushed out if SMU did lose that game. I'm still a firm believer too, though, that Texas has to win their game. If Georgia wins against Texas and SMU don't beat Clemson, I still don't see. I still see Bama in the playoff. Like they're gonna keep them in the playoff just because they want to have the numbers. So I don't know. We're gonna see what happens today. It's a lot of chaos still to be made. Oregon could lose. Uh, Texas or Georgia could lose. SMU could lose. And the first domino that needed to fall was yesterday in that UNLV Boise State game to give us a little more clarification, and that kind of hurt. That kind of hurt anybody that's behind Bama, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You needed them guys to lose last night for real. So Bama, they got one straw to fall, and let's see what happens today.
Yeah, I really think Alabama. If Clemson beats SMU, Alabama, I believe is out.
Yeah.
I believe they're out. You can't punish SMU. You got to reward Clemson for winning, but
Yeah.
you can't punish SMU for losing in their championship game. And I think that will be the difference that the committee would have to look at and say, listen, we can't punish them for losing their championship game. And Alabama has 3 losses. This will only be SMU's second loss, and it's
Right.
in their championship game. We cannot punish them. We got to pick Clemson in because they won it at 12 because they're behind Arizona State and Iowa State, but we can't punish SMU. We can't. And I think Alabama's going to be out. Um, but I really do hope that the committee sets it up where you don't have Big Ten teams playing against Big Ten teams in the first round, and they don't have SEC teams playing against SEC teams in the first round. I think
Right.
that thing should be mixed up. So hopefully they'll finagle it that way. But the way it's set up now, the way they ranked it, it's going to be hard for them to do unless like Georgia loses and Penn State loses. Then they can make it happen. But if they don't lose, it's going to. I don't know, man. I just hope they figure it out. I just hope
Yeah.
they figure it out. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I want to see after 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 tonight happens, and then we move on to Wednesday. I just want to make sure it look right too. I don't mind what they do for real. It's as long as it look right. Like let me like make it make sense in my head about what y'all did, and that I'll be fine with that also.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish there was a way Miami could get in there, but it's it's not. It's not
Nah,
a
they
way they can get
bums.
in.
I don't want to
Yeah.
see them. They bums, dog. They ain't got no defense, bro. That game gonna be
No, no
56
D.
to 52.
No D. No, and Alabama doesn't have any defense really either. So I definitely don't
Yeah.
want to see them either.
It
Yeah,
would just be the
facts.
excitement on the offensive end, and that's if they could get that off, playing who they would be playing against. Some teams
Yeah.
they're going to definitely play a little tougher, knowing that they're in the playoff if they get in. Like, man, y'all shouldn't even be here. We about to come out and try to tear y'all's head off. So that's another thing to think about as well.
Yeah. And then you look at like the 12 teams that I picked, I haven't really seen SMU's defense, but I mean, they were 11-1, so they got to be pretty
That's a
decent.
good. Yeah,
Nah,
You
I
they
know?
was
give
looking
up. They,
at
their
that
their
same
defense
thing.
give up points though. They give up points, but
Yeah.
they're not bums though. They're
They're
not
not
bums.
bombs, right? But when you look at Oregon, Texas, Boise State, Iowa State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Indiana, Tennessee, SMU, and Clemson, they all don't. None of them got bum defenses. None
They
of them
play
got bum
defense.
defense.
Yeah,
You know?
they hit you in the mouth, and they gonna make you earn what you got. So I
Yeah.
think I would rather see a playoff with defense, but you got great offenses in these teams as well. So you'll get that banger, either way it go. And we know what we getting out of Miami and Alabama. It's like, are you gonna get a team, B team, or this team that shouldn't be here? We would rather have teams that deserve to be there, and we know what we're gonna get out of them. So I agree
Yeah.
with you on that too.
That's why I agree with Isaiah saying that Oregon, Texas, Ohio State are probably the 3 best teams because when you
Yeah,
look at them offensively and defensively, They got all the packages, man, for both sides of the ball.
Right.
Except Will Howard might not quite be better than Carson Beck.
Yeah,
Nah,
man.
he better than
You might
Carson
have
Beck.
to swallow that, Zen.
Man, chill,
Carson
man.
Beccaroni.
Carson Beck is trash, dog. I'm telling y'all, bro. Y'all believe in he gonna hold a clipboard in the NFL, dog.
Man, he gonna be
And
getting cracked today. That's one
hey,
thing.
and I get it. Will Howard might not make it to the NFL, but at least he did what he was supposed to do in college. Carson Beck ain't did nothing.
Got a
He
couple
ain't did
natties,
not
man.
a thing.
Clipboard holders are making $4 million a year.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not talking about his pockets, dog. He gonna make a good living, dog. I ain't talking about. I ain't going into the next man pockets,
He
dog.
got a
I ain't
couple of
doing
them
that, dog.
natties, man. You can't forget that, man.
Man, listen. I'm just saying, as a football player, he is trash. That's only and he ain't did nothing. He ain't did nothing in college. That's why he came back. He thought he was gonna do something, and they gonna get popped in the first round. I hope they line him up with my boys. I hope they do.
Be
Yeah, I hope
careful what you wish for, Zen.
Hey, I'm wishing for all the smoke. You hear me? Hey, it's what? Below 30 degrees outside. I'm thinking I'm about to get on the grill today and cook some steaks. I want all the smoke. You hear me? Yeah.
Send me a picture of that grill when you got it going too, man.
Hey, I'm thinking about it, man. Hey, I got these crab cakes in the freezer too. It's about time to get them cooked too. I might have to throw some foil and some butter down on that grill and cook
I'm
them
off today.
bad boys up.
Don't make me slide up on you, man. I'm off work, man.
Hey, you more than welcome, dog.
For sure,
You
man.
more than welcome, dog.
Did we have anything else to tell the people before the game day come on this morning?
Yeah, I got a question. I got a question for you guys. Now the signing day is gone and it's over. How do y'all feel like y'all's recruiting classes turned out?
I mean, when we had the #1 recruiting class, my brother.
Texas
Okay.
went crazy, man. Texas,
They went-
Michigan, your Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas
went-
went crazy. That Terry kid, y'all got both Terrys.
Yeah, but like I told Ty on Thursday, I said, listen, man, if it goes the way Texas has put themselves in position for it to go, they could end up getting the #1 recruiting class in the country.
Yeah.
Now, we've been having trouble getting the defensive line. Now, we've been getting better at defensive ends and pass rushers, but them D tackles have been tough for us.
Right.
But we needed that bad. Now, we still going to hit that portal and get us a couple of defensive tackles, too, with some experience. But we needed that bad, man. That was the one area that Texas has been having trouble at, is at the defensive tackle position. And they shored that up in this recruiting class.
Oh, for sure. We lost out on the 5-star offensive tackle, Solomon Thomas. He flipped to LSU. I was really looking forward to that. I hope we can get in this portal, get a quarterback. That's the first thing, first and foremost. And just build. We got new coordinators coming in on the offensive side and defensive side, and Tony White and Gus. So I think that's a sign forward, of progress for start. And just hope for a turnaround season with Florida State. That's my only thing. And moving forward, I'm gonna stay a Nose fan for sure. Nose Nation all day. But as long as we get those things taken care of, I think we'll be good.
Man, y'all need to go offer Kalen Salter that bag, man.
Get that bag. That's the
Going
Liberty
maybe the
quarterback,
first
right?
Bring that bag, dog.
Yeah.
That's the Liberty quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Throwing the whole university.
Yeah.
You got
Man,
meals on
he
deck.
fit y'all so well, dog.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Remember
So,
earlier in the year, I said, I think I said the Virginia Tech quarterback.
Right.
It's him now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's him.
Yeah,
It's
it's
him.
him.
Let's
Y'all
have
need to
this
go
one.
get him that money. They talking about he gonna end up at Indiana.
Really?
Indiana got another quarterback. Ooh. We
Saying
get
they said that the three schools that's in it that jumped right in it once he announced was Indiana. Who was the other two, man? Indiana was the biggest name out of all the schools.
Norvell better
It
get
was
on
a
that
Big
phone.
12 school in there. Like I think it might have been Oklahoma.
I
It
think
might have
so.
been Oklahoma. Well,
Maybe.
Oklahoma might be the biggest school.
Well,
So
you
Indiana, Oklahoma, and somebody else.
well, Oklahoma State is Oklahoma's in the SEC, but Oklahoma State is in the Big 12. You know they fired Gundy.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect that. Now who they gonna get though? I'm like, dude, who are they gonna get?
That was man. Off-season maneuvers is coming.
I mean, but they could possibly get. You know, if I was them, I would go get Jeff Traylor from UTSA.
Yeah, Tennessee
I
State.
would,
That'll
I
be
would,
good.
even though he likes Texas, he likes to be in the state of Texas. I would be like, man, listen, it's not Oklahoma, it's Oklahoma
Right.
State. You know what I'm saying? Come on over here.
Right.
Hey, just real quick, just to talk about that Buckeye class after signing day. Um, we got pretty much everybody we expected to get. We already knew Naeem Offer was going to flip.
Yeah,
We just didn't know where he was going to flip to. He ended up flipping to Oregon, and that's fine. That's why we went and got Jordan Woods, the 6'3" corner um, that was committed to Cincinnati. We went and got him. He's definitely a Ohio State player too. As I mentioned that. Um, Naeem Offer, he's rated the number one cornerback in the country, so I'm not gonna act like that's not a huge blow. We do got Devin Sanchez, who is the number two corner in the country, um, by most outlets. Um,
Right.
but just to bring a couple names to the forefront of what I'm excited about in my class, Quincy Porter out of New Jersey. He a 6'3" receiver. Um, he's a guy. He's a dude. He's a 4-star prospect. He's not rated high like what we recruit usually. But as an impact, I can give him like a Cardinal Tate type impact. He's going to be a dude at Ohio State. Um, Another guy I want to mention is Fahim Delane. He's the number one safety um, in the whole cycle, in my opinion. We missed out on the one kid from Cleveland, Trey McNutt, but I think we missed out on him because we have him. I don't think we recruited him as hard because we believe more in that kid. So that's something I know Buckeye fans was like, man, why he ain't go down to Glenville and kiss Ted Senior's ring? You know what I mean? He was supposed to kiss that ring and get Trey McNutt and da da da. I just think they got so much faith in Fahim Delane that
Yeah.
they didn't even want to do that. So them is my two highlights, man, of the class. I already talked about Bo Jackson, Isaiah West, and we definitely that's the biggest position. I think the next thing for us is to go into that portal and get a kicker, because kickers keep haunting me. So, but y'all guys got anything else y'all want to talk about this morning? Game day is just coming on.
If that's it, man, I'm gonna let everybody know, man. We just appreciate the support. Miss Williams, chat. We seen y'all jumping in, Chris, as well as all the others that jumped in today. And we appreciate y'all support. Always tuning in. Make sure you go like and subscribe to WTP Sports Dudes, as well as Level Up Sports. We're gonna have Parlay Post 3 coming, City League TV coming with the podcast as well. Ask somebody, and we're gonna have Zen Master Zay coming with some of those FanDuel goodies for y'all as well. We might pop in on some live games today. We just don't know. So stay tuned to your notifications and keep them on, because we just might pop up. It's live game footage coming this weekend with all the championship games. So with all that being said, we always appreciate y'all. And as we say here, WTP Sports Dudes, we hit them peace signs and we tell y'all
Peace.
peace.